You ever seen a ghost? Been abducted? Heard your name whispered from the other room when you're all alone? No, you say? Me either. But if you're like me, you're still fascinated by the paranormal. It seems everyone else has had an experience, and you want to believe it all. So why doesn't it happen to us? What does it all mean? How does it work? Is any of it real? Welcome to ParanormGirl, a show that will attempt to answer these questions by taking the paranormal completely apart in search of proof. I'm not a blind believer, nor a hardened skeptic. I'm just looking for answers and willing to accept what I find. Hey guys, thank you for joining me yet again. This is ParanormGirl. I'm your host, Kristen. Today is a very special day. Why is it special? Because I'm cooking up something a little different for you guys. Give y'all a breather from our regular format. Welcome to ParanormGirl's first ever Conversation with a Believer segment. What is that? What does that mean, you might ask? Well, what that means is I am going to be interviewing a fellow human person and discussing their thoughts and beliefs surrounding the paranormal. Since the beginning of my own personal journey and collection of beliefs, one of my favorite parts about this world was that feeling of communion and closeness you get to feel when you come across another person who is willing to talk about things that go a little deeper. When you find someone willing to bat theories around, to divulge what they truly believe, to go beneath the surface layer and be strange with you. That is my type of person. I don't really waste my time with anyone more shallow than that. So, it is with great excitement and pleasure I introduce my first ever guest on the show, my very own partner in crime and all things for the past going on 13 years now, Mr. Lee Fleming.
Yay! My name is Lee, and I'm a believer, and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
This is not group therapy. Well, welcome to the show, darling.
Love what you've done with the space.
Do you like it?
I like it.
Yeah, it used to be a closet. Now it's a recording booth. It's got some closet-esque aspects to it still. It's got character. I like that. You're so supportive. So, so I didn't get a bio together. I didn't ask you for a bio because that's the level of professionalism I'm at. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Fleming?
What do you want to know?
I'm sorry. Was that question too broad?
Well, no. I suppose we'll just talk about. So I've never really had any significant experiences. Always been interested in paranormal and things that astral projection. Used to be fascinated with astral projection.
Ooh, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I tried a little bit, in high school. I found some book, but it was Borders or something like that. So I don't think it was too legit astral projection book.
Oh man, I miss Borders. Didn't they all close? Right? It's bankrupt.
I think so. I think they are all closed.
Aww.
There might be one in Metairie, or there was.
Was there?
I think it might still be there.
Oh. Do you remember half-price books? Anybody listening in Washington will remember half-price books.
They do. There is still a half-price books in Olympia, or there was.
There was one in Tacoma that I used to hit up all the time when I lived with my bro. Okay, and what about? So we are going to get into the astral projection thing. I'm going to ask.
And I also tried
to
turn myself into a werewolf on several occasions. Which never.
You tried to turn yourself into a werewolf?
Yeah, I found it.
So
There's another.
You're all into cryptids and stuff.
There's another book that I found that supposedly had this incantation.
Is there a hidden furries expectation that I'm not aware of yet? We've been together long enough. You can tell me.
I think it makes my nose hair grow faster, but other than that, nose hairs haven't been the same since then. But other than that, nothing really changed. No.
I don't know where to go with that, but we'll go somewhere with that. All right. So. We're gonna just right out the gate. I wanna ask the hard-hitting questions. The first
Capricorn.
The first of which is, are you sick of being asked to be on your roommate's and now your girlfriend's podcast?
No, I love podcasts. Podcasts are fun.
Hooray! right.
Plus, I like hanging out with you guys anyway.
That's
so.
right. Even if it's inside of a hot closet, it is getting hot in here now that there's two bodies throwing off.
Ooh, that could be the name of our production company. Hot Closet Production. No, Hot Closet Productions. Which is also a sex move to the hot closet.
Is it?
It's similar to the Alabama Hot Pocket.
Making that up. I know you are.
No, Google it.
No. All right. So,
2 girls, 1 hot closet.
So this being a paranormal podcast, let's actually get into some of these questions. Oh, and thank you again for coming on this. If anybody listening has not gotten the idea yet, so this is a segment I want to start. It's called Conversation with a Believer, where I just have really anybody can come on and just be on the show for the episode and just talk about their thoughts and their theories and how they arrived at their believer status or what have you. I just want to have this conversation with people.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I came all the way from the living room just to be here.
Yeah, it's a long commute, and I appreciate you making it for me. So let's get right into it. Lee.
That's me.
Would you classify yourself as a skeptic, a believer, or a mix of both?
I don't know, maybe a little. Describe myself as cautiously optimistic that there's things out there that we don't understand, that we can't sense with either our senses that our Creator gave us or the equipment that we have yet to without a doubt say, okay, that's a ghost.
Okay.
So I think there's a lot of things that we don't understand, and over the years, we used to think that every planet and the sun revolved around the Earth, and at some point they figured out that okay, that's not the case. All we can, science grows by leaps and bounds, and at some point maybe they can prove it. Because we can only see, just for an example, eyesight. There's a huge spectrum of light waves, but we can only see a very small part of it. But obviously, things are going to exist outside of that our little segment that we can see.
Right. I just talked about that very thing not that long ago. It's crazy. Yeah. All of the things that you cannot see, you cannot hear, but we know it's there. We know it exists. Yeah. So you are cautiously optimistic that this stuff exists. You're open-minded. About it, and willing to learn, willing to listen, and until the right proof presents itself.
Yeah, well, maybe not even proof, just strong evidence, or at least enough for me to say, okay, I've fully bought into it now.
Okay.
But I feel the same way about Bitcoin. I'm bullish on Bitcoin, and I'm bullish on the paranormal.
Bullish. I like that. Okay. Well, okay. How long have you retained this sort of view of the supernatural, and what has contributed most to this retained belief?
Pretty much as long as I can remember. I think one thing. I think I'm smart enough to recognize that I'm stupid, which I think kind of plays into it. I can. If
you're stupid, then we're all screwed.
I'm smart enough to realize that I don't know everything by a long shot.
Sure.
So, So just, I think there's a lot of things out there that we just don't understand. And we need, as people, we need proof. We need to be able to see it. We need to be able to touch it. We need to be able to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's more to it than that.
Right.
Also, I was kind of a dork, in school and stuff. I didn't have a lot of friends, so I had a lot of time to sit and ponder things like this.
Oh, same, buddy. Well, okay. So speaking of growing up, were you surrounded by people who were supportive of this type of thing, or were willing to communicate on this level, or were they very dismissive?
No, pretty much everybody I was around was I don't know if it was by coincidence or by design, but we all kind of had the same. We were all like really into like sci-fi and fantasy and paranormal and things like that. And so most of the people I grew up around had kind of similar interests and
Okay.
pretty open-minded. There's probably a lot out there that we don't understand.
Okay. So that being the case, you did have access to this kind of stuff. People were generally open-minded growing up when you were a kid. Has your belief in the paranormal changed or evolved at all from childhood to now?
Stronger now, just because I've been looking at it a little bit more. Before it was just kind of, yeah, I believed it was out there, but now I'm just watching a lot more documentaries and TV shows, and then we did our ghost hunt, and we found a couple cool things on the little ghost hunt that we
Yeah.
did, a couple EVPs and
Yes.
orbs. Um, so my attitude's still pretty much the same, but I'm a little bit more active in exploring it now than I was when I was younger.
Okay. Is it because you're closer to death?
Subconsciously, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, I'm glad you brought up the ghost hunt thing. That was something I was thinking I wanted to talk about today, just kind of explore a little bit. So, yes. So Lee and I actually conducted our very own like recorded ghost hunt for a series that you had an idea for.
And someday it maybe finished editing.
so okay, all right. So we did this like not that long before we ended up moving from LA to New Orleans. We went and investigated this office space. It was an office building of sorts, and there was like an old chapel on the side of it. It was really cool. And we did get some things, right? We ended up getting a couple of like short EVPs.
You get those two EVPs in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, and some
And then a
orbs.
whole lot of orbs. A couple of them really, I mean, some of them definitely could have been dust or some kind of insect or something. But there was a couple that were pretty, I mean, there's that one that went straight parallel. After we heard that noise down the hallway
Yeah.
that we were trying to figure out what it was, we had
Yeah.
that one that went like straight parallel along the ceiling into one of the offices.
Okay.
And then there was that one when you were doing a EVP session that went like straight up from the recorder on the desk, like into your hair.
Oh.
And
Okay,
there's
I
no
forgot about that
air or anything on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. We
so
had the
just
air
the way
was
it traveled
off.
was kind of weird. So that was kind of cool.
Okay.
Looking back and seeing.
Okay,
seeing
yeah,
that
because I know
stuff.
you've been working on that. You're the main editor for really any film thing that we end up doing. So you had your eyes on it and remember this stuff more than I do. And then we ended up doing the ghost hunt in New Orleans. It was a trip that we made here before we
Yeah.
moved here. That was a lot of fun.
Oh.
It's this regular ghost hunt that they do. They'll take groups out to this. It's like this like extra house outside of the main
Yeah,
house.
it was like an old. I think it was an old hospital, and it was also
Yeah.
like a slave quarters back in the
Yeah,
day, and it
yeah.
had a
A
pretty
two-story,
interesting
real old.
history. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
cool place.
yeah.
Yeah, and like the little 4-hour lockdown.
And it was really cool because, like, okay, so they'll take groups in, and they give each person in the group like a different piece of equipment, to track or investigate or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that night I got it was the headphones and like the recorder, so like everything. I
Yeah.
had the noise canceling headphones on the entire night, like it was very loud in my ears. I remember catching some stuff. You had this, like it was a meter.
It was an EMF. I think
EMF.
it was-
Yeah. And I remember distinctly, I was thinking about it this morning. You were over in the living room at one point, and it was in your hand, and there weren't a lot of people around you or anything. You were just kind of off doing your own, sweep, and nobody was getting anything. And I looked down and I saw the lights on the thing just
Yeah,
light
it
up
was-
a couple of times, just suddenly out of nowhere. It was, oh God, that was a lot of fun. We got to do that again. I can't remember the name of the tour, but I'll put the link for it in the show notes if I can
we
find it.
Google
Y'all should check
As
it
soon as I
out.
hear it, I'll remember it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was really cool.
So
The
and
guy leading it was really cool too. I can't remember his
Yeah,
name.
Michael-
Michael.
something. Yeah, I want to say Michael Roger, but it wasn't.
Something like that.
That's
That's
somebody
close,
I used to
though.
work for.
It was, yeah. It was, yeah, he was really cool though.
Wow.
He was
He was a
really,
lot
some
of
good
fun.
stories.
That was a lot of fun. But and then for future, like, so we're if you can't tell, we're into like ghost hunting and ghost investigation. So we have been talking about making a trip to Myrtle's Plantation, which is notoriously haunted. And not to do like an official investigation or anything. I don't think they want people to do that, but you know, they market it as a very haunted location. It's a bed and breakfast. You can come and stay here, sleep with the ghosts and stuff. So, you know, if we bring a recorder or you know, our EVP,
couple
you know,
cameras
EMF
and...
reader, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then one more on this subject, then we'll move on. Have you ever heard of the Estes Method?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so the Estes Method is a way of recording EVPs, like cataloging them and just kind of viewing them differently. So essentially, one person is going to have the headphones on, noise canceling headphones on, and it's going to be plugged right into the spirit box.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then there's going to be other people who do not have headphones on. They are the ones that are asking the questions.
Oh, okay.
So they will ask the questions, and the person who's got the headphones on is just spitting out whatever they're hearing coming in their ears. And I've listened to like real time like sessions of people using the Estes Method, and there's some really convincing evidence that there is some kind of communication going on here. So I want to try that maybe at the Myrtle's Plantation when we decide to go. Okay. All right. Let's move on. So, curious, what are your favorite paranormal topics? Like, what gets your knickers twisted?
Mostly just I don't know, probably shadow people, Hatman.
You like
pretty
that
cool
stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just because I've been talking your face off about it for the last 3 months.
No.
It's creepy, man.
It's creepy AF.
Yeah.
I like creepy.
Okay.
When other people tell me about their creepy experience, I don't want to experience that, man. I want to see like, you know, Torque's ghost or something walk through the house.
You do want to see that?
I would like to see that,
Yeah.
but I don't want to see Hatman in person.
I don't know if you have a choice. If they want to see you, you're gonna see them. Okay? Yeah. I don't know. I talked a little bit about this in the last episode, that I might be kind of comforted to see a shadow person, just because, like, in my mind, that answers like this big philosophical question about life and death and what exists beyond our perception and reality. Is there more? Like, almost just that in itself would be like, I don't know, proof to me.
Yeah,
I don't know what they are, but I think it would be proof.
There's some comfort in knowing, even if the experience is a little scary.
Yeah.
But afterwards.
Yeah. Well, so, okay, I know the answer to this next question, but we're going to go into something that we started talking about last night. Have you ever had any personal paranormal experiences?
Other than the ghost hunt that we did, nothing really, me personally, nothing too significant. I mean, every once in a while, I swear I'll see like some kind of shadow move from my periph, and you look and there's nothing.
Really?
Or
why is it only now I hear about these things?
I mean, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen like every day or anything.
All right. Yeah, and the stuff just happens so fast you don't even really like think about it.
Yeah, and then or sometimes you'll just be like alone in the house and swear you hear somebody say your name or something like that. That's happened maybe a handful of times over my life.
Okay.
Did used to live in a house with my mom when I was probably 13 or 14. And she had some experiences in the house. I never did. I tried to. I'd sit in the dark and hope something happened. But it was about a block and a half from a graveyard. So who knows? But yeah, she felt like she was lying in bed one night and felt something grab her leg. And then there was a couple times things had been moved around in the cupboards. But yeah, I never wanted to. I was jealous.
So that's how you were open to it, and you would sit alone in the dark, and would you talk to it and be like, take me, like that?
Nothing that dramatic. Show yourself.
Show yourself.
I command you. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's possible. I mean, it was only it was like a block and a half from a graveyard. One of my friends later on had experience in the graveyard.
No kidding.
That was,
So you
yeah.
think maybe it was directly connected to the graveyard,
could-
or do you think it was the house itself?
Well, the graveyard incident, I think was more of THC than paranormal.
It sounds
That
like
was-
a good story in
it
the
was-
making.
Well, it was same graveyard as a couple years later, where like there's a group of us, like 16, 17, decided we're gonna get high together for the first time, and so I figured might as well do it in the graveyard because it's within walking distance.
Perfect.
So there's four of us, and one of it is me, Dick. It's not his birth name. That was just what we called him out. That was our term of endearment for him. Ron, and I think it was Joey, the underweight lover, Joey D.
Oh dear. Okay.
So yeah. So anyway, there's four of us, and we go to this graveyard, and apparently Ron smoked way too much, and we're just walking through the graveyard, and he just falls to the ground, starts screaming, "It's got me! It's got me!" And like, he's totally convinced that an arm came up from one of the graves and was like grabbing him by the ankle.
Oh, and that's the worst.
And,
too.
yeah,
That's
and
the worst
so-
kind of paranoia when
And
you're
then,
on that.
yeah, and so like, Dick like grabbed his hand, was trying to pull him up, and Ron's trying to pull himself back down, and so finally Ron stands back up, and he just wraps Dick in a big hug, and he's like, "Oh my God, Mike's my best friend. You saved my life. You saved my life."
So it all ended well.
Not so much.
No?
No, because later on
Dick died.
No, we're even worse.
Oh no.
We're driving around later that night because girls wouldn't talk to us. So
No.
the next best option is just to drive around because I had a fast car. So we're like, all right, we'll just go drive around, try and see if we can get see if we can get in a street race. What else are you gonna do on a Saturday night?
Oh right, yeah.
Gas
and
was
this
affordable
Tacoma,
back
right?
then.
Washington, rural, whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing else to do.
Yeah, so we're just driving around, and me and Dick are in the front seat, and Joey and Ron were in the back seat, and we're sitting at a stoplight, and all of a sudden, Joey just yells out, "Yo, this motherfucker's playing with his dick back here!" We look back. So we look back, and sure enough, he's got his sweats like halfway down. He's not like trying to come to completion or anything. He's just back there flicking it back and forth like he's playing.
Wait, Dick
Pong.
was playing with his
Ron.
Dick? Ron was playing
yeah.
with Ron's.
He was playing with his own dick.
Oh
yeah.
my
Yeah, he
God.
was playing with his
Okay.
own- Yeah.
Well, see, okay, so I would assume that the person nicknamed Dick had gotten that nickname because of some stupid frickin' story like this.
I don't
but
remember
no.
where he got. I think he might have got it
He
from.
just got it
I think
randomly.
he might have got it from the Swedish foreign exchange student that we were friends with.
Oh,
I think
you couldn't pronounce his name or something.
something like that.
All right.
Yeah. But at that point, I think I don't even think he was high anymore at that point, though. That was a couple hours later. I think it wore off.
This was just his stasis.
Yeah. So,
Now, so this shocks me. There's a couple things about you that you failed to mention in your bio. One, you are.
you knew I was a Capricorn. So,
No, you said that. You said that.
yeah, right.
Right.
I thought that was the part you were talking about that you didn't know.
I mean, as horrible as
until today.
Capricorns are, no, this is not what I'm talking about. Okay, so, no, just things that people wouldn't know about you if they saw you, just walking down the street. You are a comedian.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know you if they were listening to this podcast either.
You would never look at me and think, girls
You've
didn't
made-
talk to that guy in high school.
You've made audiences both laugh and cry with your performances. No,
Sometimes on
you're-
purpose.
So you're a stand-up comedian. That's how we met. Fun story, another time. And also you worked in a prison
Yes.
for a very long time. You were a
Yes.
prison guard for, 12 years?
Just about 12 years. Just about 12 years.
Jesus. Okay, so this is what shocks me. That in all those years of working in a prison, you were also on some school campuses guarding and being a comedian, going through numerous old theaters and performance spaces and all that, like that energetic kind of center of those types of places. These places are notoriously haunted, and you never once had any experience like that here?
No, I knew there's a couple. The old auditorium at the prison was supposed to be haunted. A lot of people had experiences. A lot of people got killed in the auditorium.
What?
So yeah, well,
Oh, like
'cause,
just like before your time, or?
yeah, a
Okay.
little before my time, but
Okay.
people who'd been there longer, like they'd hear, footsteps or voices and stuff in the auditorium.
Wow.
The hospital was supposedly haunted. People had some experiences in the old hospital, and I was working swing shift from 4 to midnight, and I would worked in the hospital quite a bit and wander around at night trying to antagonize some spirits or something. And yeah, no, nothing, never, no footsteps, no voices, no cell doors slamming.
My
Nothing. I
goodness,
was
the
very
spirit
disappointed. But
world is like lose my number, Lee
I would
Fleming. We
love to
do
go
not
back
want to
there and do a
talk.
ghost hunt there now, though. Especially because
Yeah.
now it's been closed for, what, about 8, 10 years or something like that.
Yeah, that
They
energy
just
is just
shut it down.
stagnating. It's got
Yeah.
no outlet or anything because
Yeah.
there's nobody there,
Mm-mm.
right?
No, there's people on the other side of the island, but the prison itself is completely shut down.
Wow, God, that would be
That,
a dream,
that would be
dude.
awesome. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, due to this current season revolving around shadow people, you did start to talk about it a little bit. You mentioned it a little bit, but I am assuming it would have come up before all of this had you had any experiences with them, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So, I guess I just want to know what. Can you flesh out a little bit what your beliefs or knowledge about them are just at this point? Like, do you recall what you thought when you first heard of them? Like, when did they come into your awareness?
Mm, yeah, that's a good question. Um,
Like, was it just when I started talking about them
no,
that
it
you
was
became aware? You knew, yeah.
before that. Probably
Okay.
again, I think it was just kind of a thing, just sort of, watching a lot of horror movies and thrillers and stuff like that. I think it just sort of subconsciously just kind of, just accepted. Oh, okay, this is Hatman. This probably a lot of things are based on people's actual experiences or
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
beliefs, old rituals. So just kind of gradual exposure to them through books and movies. And I can't think of it like a point where it wasn't like a flip of a
Yeah.
light switch or anything where it's
Right.
like, ooh, yeah, man, this is fascinating.
Like
I want to
some
find out more about
epiphanous
that.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a culmination of
Yeah, just kind of something that you were always like aware of. It was
yeah,
just always there, but
yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah. I don't know, maybe I don't know. I think Freddy Krueger, maybe the first Nightmare on Elm Street, the first kind of it was a pretty unique character. I don't know, it's probably the first
Yeah.
time I started kind of that people attacking you in your sleep. That kind of adds a new level to it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's interesting enough that that movie was based on it's a old Vietnamese entity that they called an oppressing spirit. Da Cho was so it is actually based on something that scientists would not say is real, but that these people found, thought were very real. This pressing spirit that was killing people in their sleeps and their nightmares. So, just very curious you would say that. Okay, so the Hat Man, yes, you've heard of him. I am just curious. Do you think that this specific entity is part of the shadow figure crew, or do you believe he's something else altogether?
I think there's probably like not levels, but probably like different groups, or like they have different different choirs of angels. Like
Oh, okay. Like different
so, I
classes.
think there's probably some because I know like people have had good experiences, horrible experiences, experiences that weren't either really good or bad. Just kind of oh, that was kind of a weird thing to see, and on with their day. So I think it's either one person or one entity, just manifesting itself in different ways depending on what it wants to do, or it's just like different breeds, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Some malevolent, some benign, and some just probably some maybe just wandering around, don't even know what they are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's it's a tough question to answer. Ultimately, I hope I get there at some point. But yeah, just curious what you thought of that. Okay,
I like the idea of it being just one entity,
just one
just
entity.
manifesting itself differently.
Oh, like as in the Hat Man himself is like manifesting himself as all of the shadow people, or he's
right. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh,
just for his
scary
own
thought.
amusement. Maybe it's
What
like
a
some kind of
vengeful entity. Like, what's his problem,
I
man?
don't know. It's probably like some kind of I don't know, paranormal reality show that ghosts sit around and watch on. Can't miss TV. It's like the Hat Man is like the Paul brothers of the paranormal, just going
Are
around.
those the guys?
The YouTube guy, the one that just fought Mayweather and doing stupid pranks on the interwebs.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So I mean, it could be something like that.
Hat Man is.
He's a prankster.
He's a prankster.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, just going around amusing himself. And,
Rosemary Ellen Guiley might have agreed with you. She thought they were the Jinn, which were the all-time notorious pranksters of everything of all time. Okay, man. All right, so we're getting to the end of this episode. We're running right up to the time.
I didn't know we started.
I know, it's all been just like chill, right?
I thought we were just warming up.
Interviewer ever. This is your pre-interview. We're getting ready to go.
Okay, hit record.
3,
I'm ready
2,
now.
1. Okay.
My name is Lee, and I'm a believer.
Okay. So to wrap all this up, I thought it would be fun to ask you some like speed round questions that I have not asked you before, that you don't know what these are unless you've been peeking over my shoulder. No. And I just want you to, it doesn't mean like it's got to be a fast answer, just that whatever first comes to mind, and feel free to like verbalize it and go into it and extrapolate or whatever you want to do for each answer. It's only 5 questions, but we'll just kind of go through these and then we'll wrap it up for today. Sound good?
All right.
All right, so speed around questions. Number 1.
What do I win?
What do you win?
What do I win?
You don't have to be Capricorn for a day.
That's a loss.
You have to be Aries, which is the best sign.
Hatman's Aries.
Oh. All right. Number 1. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being everything has an explanation rooted in science and logic, and 10 being it's a ghost world, we just live in it, where do you sit?
8.
8. Okay.
Not specific to ghosts, but I don't know. I think this whole thing is just
You err on the side of supernatural, of paranormal.
yeah, I think this whole thing is just a simulation, and none of it is real. And
Ooh.
we're just one of
Simulation talk.
One
I
of,
might have to have you back.
Yeah, just one of many simulations,
Right.
and anything is possible. And
Okay.
we're alone in the universe, and life is pointless.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Very good. 2. What convinced you that the paranormal is real?
No specific event or anything. Just kind of like we talked about earlier. Just growing up, being exposed to it, and movies, books, playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and just like the people around me having the same interests. So we just kind of talk about it or watch movies related to it or recommend books to each other.
Okay.
So no specific event, just kind of a culmination of just growing up around that,
it,
and just being open-minded to all possibilities, really.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And maybe nobody around to shut that down for you, to shut down that open mind to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Even if they didn't believe it themselves, everybody, like, nobody tried to shame me for it or anything like that.
Well, I think that's important in a lot of areas of life to encourage growth or new thought or anything, but that's a whole other conversation. All right, number 3. If you were a ghost, who would you haunt to scare, and who would you haunt because you didn't want to leave?
Obviously, the second one would be you.
I'm gonna have to deal with your ass as a ghost.
I would be your protector. I'll do dishes while you sleep, and then you'll wake up and you'll be like, "Who broke into my dishes?" It'd be kind of like gaslighting, but in a good way.
Oh, well, I kind of like that though.
Yeah.
Gaslight me.
Yeah.
Do
So
my
I just
dishes.
put like a food in the I'd like go to Cheesecake Factory and put some cheesecake in the fridge, and then
Will
you'd wake
you?
up and you'd be like, I don't remember buying cheesecake, but this is delicious.
Lee. He always gets me a slice of cheesecake whenever he goes to Cheesecake Factory. It's the sweetest thing, and I never think I want cheesecake until he brings it to me, and it is delicious. Oh my
Nobody ever
God.
thinks they want cheesecake
Oh,
until they see it.
The crust is the best. The crust is the best part of the cheesecake. Okay, who would you haunt to scare? So many. Who's on the parking lot list?
I don't even know if I could narrow it down to one. Does it have to be somebody I know personally?
No.
Or so it could be like
Anyone.
probably Donald Trump Jr. Just smack
Oh,
him in
you
his
want to go
face.
for the junior? Okay.
Yeah, he's
Oh
he's
man, and he would
too
be so.
smug, and and I
He would
think
be so high, like the paranoia would just kill him.
yeah, and I mean, he looks like a straight up coward. So it's not so much that I hate him. I just think he would be the easiest target to scare. So
Gotcha.
I would have to put in
Okay.
the least amount of work
Okay. All right. All right.
because I think I'm gonna be lazy even as a ghost.
You're gonna be a lazy ghost.
I'm gonna be a lazy
All
ghost.
right. Well, that's okay. I mean, you're dead. Like, you do whatever you want, man. All right. Number 4. Is there a paranormal topic that you just hate or think is absolute bollocks?
Not really. I think they're all
Yeah?
just as
They're
they're
all fair
just
game
as
and-
valid as any
Okay.
other one. Can't really think of anything that strikes me as like, okay, this one doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
But
Okay. All right. All right. And number 5, final question. Supposedly, the UFO disclosure is happening June 26th or 27th. I can't remember the date. It's the end of June. What do you think will be revealed?
probably no more than we know already.
Really?
I don't think there's going to be any
Boo.
definitive answers. It's going to be more, yeah, we saw this, we can't explain it. We saw this
Okay.
one, we can't explain this one either. Here's some more stuff that we saw that we can't explain. I mean, even if they knew, I don't think they would really tell us, and I don't think they know.
Okay.
Although Resident Alien is a good show. I wish that was a documentary.
It is a good show. I'm missing
Yeah.
it right now. I need them to come back for the next season. I need
I
it
think
in my
that-
life.
Yeah, because I don't know. I think Men in Black nailed it with just that the Tommy Lee Jones line where they were talking about like why the aliens haven't revealed themselves. And Will Smith was like, people are intelligent, and Tommy Lee
person
Jones,
is
a
intelligent.
person is intelligent.
Yeah.
People are. You see what people do.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
When a whole population gets scared about something.
Yeah, it's a weird like herd mentality, mob mentality. It's very
Start putting
primal
gasoline
sometimes how
into
we
garbage
respond to
bags
things.
and.
Oh my God, gas in the bags. And now didn't somebody try to fill a paper bag with gas? Wasn't there something?
Probably. Yeah.
I could have swore I read something like
I
that.
know
It's like,
people were using like
oh,
plastic
Lord.
tubs. And that was for the virus. Like, can you imagine if an actual on national TV, like a spaceship came down? They say, "Hey, we're here to help."
I might stop pumping gas into my plastic bag for a second to look up and be like, Oh, and then there was a burger shortage after that. Did you hear that? It was like just a blip on the radar. It was happening and then it wasn't. There was a milk shortage and I don't know, man. I can't keep up at this point. All right. I guess that's going to wrap it up for us today. Thank you so much, darling, for being my first guest today.
Of course.
You are the best. Before we go, are there any projects or websites you want to promote to my 2 listeners? Where can people find you?
Right now, I'm mostly just working on our film projects and trying to finish up the ghost hunt that we did. Everything is on right now. It's still under Passionate Apathy Entertainment on YouTube, Instagram. Mostly where we're at. Just the little short horror films that we've been doing. If you want to check them out, they're like 1.5, 2 minutes long. And then hopefully just got some tinkering to do with Dead Life, the ghost hunting little series that we started. Hopefully have that done, I don't know, like in a month or so. Just got to finish up. We moved before we got a couple interviews done that we needed to do, so I got to try and see if I can catch a Zoom interview with a couple people and then drop those in.
Yeah, we need to reach out and do those remote
Yeah.
interviews, and then it'll be done.
So that's about it.
And then what was the handle? Do you know offhand the handle for Passionate Apathy on the Instagram? Is it at?
I think it's Passionate Apathy Ent, just ENT.
Yeah, Passionate Apathy Ent. I think that's right. Okay, yeah. So you heard him. Get on there, follow us, the follow along. We're going to be doing some really cool stuff before the year is out, and that should be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll end up putting some stuff on our Myrtle's Plantation visit. That would be cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do a live podcast from Myrtle's while we're up there.
Ooh, I think we should.
We could do a live stream.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to be my return guest, my first return guest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that's going to do it for today. No final note today, you guys. I didn't know how long this segment was going to end up being, this being the first time, so I didn't prepare any deep final message for you all to mull over. Apologies. But I shall be back in 2 weeks with our regularly scheduled programming. We will do one final lesson episode before the season finale and my ultimate conclusion on the Shadow People. What the heck are they? Where are they from? What do they want? All that. It's going to be good. I might be drinking some margaritas during the recording to celebrate actually finishing a whole season. It is the bane of the Aries existence to never finish a goddamn thing. But I'm going to do it. And then going to take a much-needed break before launching into next season, where I will be covering the Mandela Effect, which is fascinating stuff. If you have enjoyed today's episode and would like to be on the show yourself, this is my invitation to you, my fellow skeptical believers. Reach out, message me. Let's get you on. Let's chat, fam. Just hit me up on the socials at ParanormGirlPod or email me at ParanormGirlPod@gmail.com. I'd really like to keep the conversation with a believer segment going. I swear I will get better at this interviewing thing, and I hope to add also an episode specifically talking with a full-on skeptic, a non-believer, if you will. So if that sounds more up your alley, reach out. Let's have a chat. All right. We will be back in 2 weeks with the next show. Until then.
Can I say it?
Yeah, I know you're chomping at the bit to say it. Go for it.
Okay, say it. Give me an action.
And action.
Stay safe. Keep that nightlight on. And sleep with one eye open.